Yes, love and bugs, it all goes together as far as I'm concerned, and even Madagascar cockroaches. Let's get right to it here. Mark Sheperdigian, Rose Pest Solutions Entomologist, Vice President of Technical Services. And Mark, as I understand it, actually Russ Ives, our good friend Russ, President of Rose Pest Solutions, has sent you out again on a mission of delivering Madagascar cockroaches, the not just any, but the hissing cockroach, known as a Madagascar cockroach. And it's a big deal to give these to schools, isn't it?
Thank you, Paul W. It's good to be here, and it certainly is a big deal. We support science education, and there is nothing like a 3-inch insect in a 5-inch hand to get people excited about science.
Yeah, it does get everyone excited, and it is a very good program, the Rose Pest Solutions Madagascar Giveaway Program, an annual project that provides teachers with live insects in a plastic habitat and a fact sheet with care instructions, and I can only imagine that the kids love this.
Oh, they absolutely do. It's almost universal, and they're just the ideal animal to include here. They're easy to keep. If they got out, they don't get started, because this is no place for a Madagascar hissing cockroach to live.
No, we don't have the right climate, if you will. So that's the only place, generally speaking, that I want to see a Madagascar hissing cockroach, is under those conditions. The fact of the matter is, unfortunately, it is that time of year again. The bugs are starting to come alive inside and out. What are some of the biggest problems you're seeing for this spring, Mark?
Well, it's a typical spring, and as things warm up, everything starts to climb out of bed and get active again. Right now, most people are dealing with the ants that they deal with every spring. Ants are the little creatures who run the world, you know.
Boy, and if you're going to pick a creature to run the world, why not one that can do all the things that an ant can do? On the other hand, I don't want ants in my house either, and there are millions, or as Carl Sagan used to say, may he rest in peace, billions and billions of ant traps you can buy over the counter, but that's not always going to be effective.
No, it isn't. And the first thing you got to be able to do is kind of sort the ants out of what are we dealing with here. The two kinds of ants that most of the people in our area are looking at are either the big black ants, which are the carpenter ants, or little brown ants that are trailing all over. And most of those are pavement ants or some of the other soil nesting ants. Once you figure out what they are, then you got to figure out what to do with them. The carpenter ants can be fickle when it comes to ant traps and those kinds of things. We say traps, but most of those are baits. A couple of tips: the baits that work the best out there are gel baits or liquid baits. Those really seem to be more effective against ants, both the carpenter ants and the others.
What I've learned, Mark Sheperdigian, at your teaching and the Rose Pest Solutions Institute that I've attended, kind of, by being with you, hanging out with you over the years, is that people think killing the ants where they see them is the key. The key really isn't, because that ant is out scurrying around to find food for everybody else. You need to get them to take food back to where all the rest of the ants are to try to get rid of them. And with Michigan being home to about 274 different species of insects, bugs, and ants, we're going to run across some in our homes. And we're talking bugs. Rose Pest Solutions Entomologist and Vice President of Technical Services, Mark Sheperdigian. And we've taken care of ants, Mark. What about spiders? Every house has spiders.
Oh, they do. Spiders are pretty common. They're all over the place. They're all different. And there are way too many people who are petrified of spiders, but they shouldn't be. It's just a normal part of life. Now, there's two kinds of spiders you'll see out there. There are kinds that build the web and trap their insects, and the kinds that run around and look for something to catch. It's usually the ones that build webs and leave the cobwebs all over that people object to the most.
Say that again. The cobwebs are what they object to the most?
Yeah.
Not me. I hate spiders.
You don't mind the cobwebs?
Cobwebs, you just get rid of them. You just wipe them out and you take care of them. But boy, spiders scare me. I know they don't scare you, and there's a good reason for spiders, and there are 10,000 different varieties. But I'm not a spider fan, and I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's okay. You're actually in a very big club. There's an awful lot of people who don't like them for lots of reasons, and actually arachnophobia, the irrational fear of spiders, that is.
He underlined irrational, yes.
I did, because there's no reason to be afraid of spiders, but I know entomologists who are arachnophobic, and they don't explain it, they don't apologize for it, they say, I've handled all kinds of bugs in this world, but spiders, they just give me the creeps.
Oh, well, I'm happy to hear that we're not alone then. We're in big company, even entomologists. And finally, flies. They're just annoying, but they're here, a common nuisance for spring and summer. House flies to cluster flies to fruit flies. What do you say?
Wow, well, with flies, the different kinds of flies come for different reasons. The best way to keep flies out of the house is keep the doors closed or keep the screens intact and make sure the garbage gets out on time. It doesn't take long for those green bottle flies, the blowflies or the shiny green flies to build up in the garage. And if you see a whole host of fly larvae, which are usually called by the M word, crawling across the garage floor, it's been too long. So keeping the garbage cans clean is probably the best bet there.
All righty, and another best bet is getting in touch with you, Mark, at either rosepestsolutions.com or calling 800-966-ROSE. We appreciate your help. We'll be talking to you all season long, I promise you.
Thank you, Paul W.
Thank you, Shep. Mark Sheperdigian, Rose Pest Solutions Entomologist and Vice President of Technical Services, because we try to aim at the very things that are bugging you.